So, so I bit the bullet and temporarily, I think it's temporary. I am back in regular therapy, talk therapy, of course. I'm a little rusty. I'm not sure what I mean by that, but I think it was good timing because the holidays are I mentioned this before. The holidays are typically not a happy time for me. And it's beyond just not celebrating those holidays. It's I don't know. A lot of stuff usually happens to me around the holidays. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's my change in mood or something. I don't know. She's I can tell. I know she knows what she's doing in terms of my quote unquote new therapist, or clinician, whatever you want to call it. My previous therapist or clinician went to private practice because it pays a lot more than we do. Yes, I'll point that out for those that don't know. I am both a client and an employee. It just happened to turn out that way. I talked about being passed over for that position I wanted. I don't know what to call it. I just picked that term because it seemed to fit. We talked about the current situation with my immediate family. Of course, we didn't come to any solutions for that, but because quite frankly, there might not be a solution for that. There's a lot of other stuff we should probably talk about. Let's just say like a couple months prior, or a few, maybe, I don't remember, before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and these 4 years since the end of the pandemic. Even though it doesn't seem like a lot happened, it feels like a lot happened, and I just want to have one video where this doesn't happen, where I have to feel like I have to put a facade or a fake identity. For some reason, I don't feel like I have the ability to speak freely anymore. And that's, to me, that's a problem, because like whenever I need to get something off my chest, or I just want to talk about something, I feel like I've been saying this a lot, but I don't have the answer for that. Some of these things I don't have the answer for. I wish I had the answer for. I'm probably just gonna stream multiple times today, and I probably go to the supermarket at some point to buy this food that is not related to Thanksgiving. This doesn't feel like home anymore, and that concerns me. It's in my heart of hearts, I know it's not, but it sort of feels like this is just some place that I live. This is some place where I do my hobbies. This is just some place. Maybe that's the problem, is that I never feel truly at home. Like, I don't have to think about what's going on out there. She did point out to me that, like, she understands that I do consider that people my age, especially females, around my age is when they start looking at the last chance they might have to safely and as much as possible healthy enough to have a baby, start a family, etc. And we've made it clear that I don't want that. Well, it's not that I don't want that, it's that I have to consider the circumstances of what might happen. And if and when it did happen, in my opinion, I'm not sure I could forgive myself. And 18 years is a long time, and we're not even counting. Because for me, 18 years was a long time, but then it dipped into my 20s, then it dipped into the 30s, and now we're here. Do I think I've had an easy life? What's the definition of easy? I mean, have I always had food, shelter, clothing? Of course. But in terms of the pyramid of needs, right? I'm not at the top. I haven't been at the top in a long time, if I ever have. I would like to think I'm in the middle, but I don't know. I know I'm not at the bottom, because, I'm not at the bottom. But anyway. Can we just have one video where, like, I just don't get so overwhelmed and emotional? Just one video. Just one regular video. Like, as far as I'm concerned, like, maybe it'll get better around Black Friday or something, because I celebrate Black Friday. I think when that passes, my tank won't be as empty. I know it's just retail therapy, but sometimes I need that to get past certain things again. Let me explain it like this, right? What if I had... I'm making a metaphor to this, so just bear with me. What if I had 13 wounds, right? And the majority of them are all closed up. However, there are some wounds that haven't healed yet. They have stitches in them. And the stitches are made of, like, I thought they were made of, like, adamantium or something, as a Wolverine reference. They're not supposed to break. And when things happen, and I'm reminded of things happening, those stitches do reopen. They break. They rip open, and occasionally, some of the wounds that seem to be healed, those open back up as well. So, what do I know, right? I'm tired of being treated like... I don't want to say I'm like wise or something, like an old man or something like that, but I have been in 13 relationships. I have that number because some of them don't count in my opinion. Typically, if it's just like a month, maybe a few months kind of thing, I typically don't count it. So when you consider I've been in 13 relationships, I've had 13 sexual partners, I feel like I should deserve some credit for that. That, quite frankly, that I'm not a hoe. I'm not a man whore. I'm myself. That's the only person I've known how to be throughout my entire life. There were times where I didn't know who that was. There were times, obviously, when I was developing who that was. And the holidays, man. Those fucking holidays. It includes this, but it's not just this. The fact that I sort of feel left out. Like, this isn't my holiday. That's you guys. You guys spend it with your family. It's just another day to me. I don't know how many times people in my life have come to me for relationship advice. I'm not sure if I'm a good source for that, to be honest, because I feel like you shouldn't give relationship advice unless you've had a successful relationship, in terms of like, okay, what's considered a successful relationship, right? It's basically when you find the person that you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with. And if there's a shadow of a doubt to that, maybe that's not really the right person. And I've experienced that about the maybe that person is the right person part about 13 times. And it doesn't even matter anymore, like in terms of who initiates the breakup, who gets hurt more by the breakup. Like, we're not comparing wounds, but do they exist? Of course. Even if people can't see them, they're there. They're there somewhere. I guess I need to invest in more adamantium stitches. Okay, holidays, man. The fucking holidays. Overall, the therapy appointment was probably much needed, and we went over a lot of stuff, like where I left off with my previous clinician. I know he mentioned it to me, but I'm actually kind of really surprised he didn't like leave me a message or something to say he was leaving. I'm not that I need that. It's just, it would have been nice to have known sooner than later. But you know, I don't blame him. Like, you have to do what you have to do, especially if your kids are going to school and you're not exactly getting paid what you think you should be getting paid. It's business, and I know that might not seem like a relevant allusion to nonprofit, but you still need to put food on the table, and it's a difficult subject for some people I work with to talk about. It's a difficult subject for me to talk about. It's like, you don't want to show that you don't have any allegiance, any responsibility towards where you're working right now. It's that you have to look out for yourself sometimes. Thankfully, thankfully and not thankfully, I'm not really in that position. I have some leeway, but I admire that a lot of the old faces I used to see at work, they had to bite the bullet and say they had to start looking out for themselves. And in an environment where teamwork matters, it's hard. It's like, I've seen so many new faces in the recent past that it's staggering. I don't even know some people's names anymore. I don't know who's left and who has been hired sometimes. It's especially around this time when like people want to be saving up money, etc., to have a quote unquote good holiday. It's sometimes things happen at the worst possible times, and sometimes we find that out the hard way. What do I know, guys? Right? What do I know? What do I know about relationships? What do I know about life? What do I know? I'm only, if you don't count my high school friends, I'm only like the one of the most experienced, and I don't want to say wise, but I would like to be referred to as wise. I don't know. I just feel older than everybody else, and I just feel like I've had more experience. I feel like I've been around the block more than some other people. Let me put it that way. So welcome to the block party. All right, I'll maybe I'll make some updates about therapy, but all right. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other.